Okay, dear students, let's start. Very first live revision class of ATX. The session in September 2026. Uh, Topics of today's class we have mentioned. What exactly we are going to revise? We'll be starting from the basic, and just after one more class, then I think after one more class, then in each live revision class, we are going to cover one proper Kaplan kit question. But before, whenever the time comes of the particular question, I'll be sharing that question in your relevant WhatsApp groups so that you will be having at least 3 to 4 days before the class so that you can attempt that question. So let's start. Just a minute. Student, just give me 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, we are starting. I'm expecting few more students to join us. Just I'm pausing the video so the video should not become very long unnecessarily. Okay, dear students, I think now we should start. We have waited enough. First of all, students, we are starting from individuals. When it comes to individual, all those individuals they are earning more than the personal allowance. We know that the amount of the personal allowance is 12,570. Whoever earns more than 12,570 will be paying income tax in UK. And how do we apply income tax rate? A very normal, I would say, sequence is first we apply a tax rate on non-saving income. Second, we'll go for saving income, and the last one is dividend. This is the normal sequence. Number one is non-saving, then saving, and the last one is dividend. When it comes to saving income, now listen, student, carefully. There are few additional rules relating to saving income. Number one, if someone who is a basic rate taxpayer will get a nil rate band 1000 for the saving income. Anyone who is a higher rate taxpayer means having taxable income more than the limit of basic rate band, which is 37,700. So someone who is a higher rate taxpayer gets nil rate band of £500 for the saving income. Someone who is an additional rate taxpayer does not get any nil rate band for the saving income. So anyone who is a basic rate taxpayer gets nil rate band of £1,000 for the saving income. Someone who's a higher rate taxpayer gets nil rate band £500 for the saving income. Anyone who's an additional rate taxpayer does not get any nil rate band for the saving income. When it comes to dividend income, every individual, irrespective of their tax paying status, every individual, irrespective of their tax paying status, gets nil rate band of £500. Every individual. Nil rate band. Okay. I'm just writing a very simple example and I want everyone to solve this, okay? Employment income is a non-saving income. Assuming that employment income is £60,000, saving income is simply interest income. Let's say it is £15,000. Dividend income is, let's say, £10,000. Pay means pay as you earn. The income tax which is paid in advance. I'm assuming pay is £10,000. Required. Number one is income tax liability. And the second is income tax payable. When we'll be solving combined, then I will also explain the difference between income tax liability and income tax payable. But right now, I want every one of you to attempt this question, and every one of you, please calculate income tax liability. I'm giving around 4 to 5 minutes to all of you. Please attempt. Then after 5 minutes, we'll be solving it together as well. Okay, students, let's try together. While calculating income tax liability, we'll be making 4 columns. The first one is for non-saving income. Then we have saving income. Dividend income, and the final is total. Just to save the time, I'm directly writing. Employment income is a non-saving income, so 60,000. Saving income is 15. Dividend income is 10,000. It means we are having 85,000 as a total income. Personal allowance is deducted first from the non-saving income, 12,570. If you do not have non-saving, then I'll go for saving. Finally, I'll go for dividend income if I don't have saving also. 12,570. Taxable income, 60,000 minus 12,570. Taxable income is 47,430. Saving income is 15,000. Dividend income is 10. Okay, 47,430 plus 15 plus 10. Students, I am getting 72,430. First, we have to apply tax rate on non-saving income, then saving, and the finally dividend income. Okay. Income tax. Basic rate. Actually, the limit for the basic rate band is 37,700. First, we have to apply income tax rates on non-saving income. So 37,700 into 20%. We'll get 7,540 if I'm not wrong. Let me check as well. Yes. Now, after that, students, now basic rate band is over. We have completed the basic rate band. So the next band is higher rate band. From this 47,430, we will deduct 37,700 because we have applied tax rate on 37,700. So the difference of 47,430 and 37,700 difference actually falls in higher rate band. So 47,430 minus 37,700. Okay, let's see the answer. Oh, wait. 9730. Student, 9730 actually falls in higher rate band. Applicable tax rate is 40%. Okay. I'm getting 3892. Now, students, we have to apply income tax rate on saving income. But please, first you have to decide individual's tax paying status. Look at the last column, taxable income. The total taxable income is 72,430, which is more than the basic rate band. Since the total taxable income is more than the basic rate band, of course, it is not more than 125,140, because if the taxable income comes more than 125,140, that person is considered as an additional rate taxpayer. And we know that additional rate taxpayer, they don't get any nil rate band for their saving income. Here, this individual is a high rate taxpayer. Whoever is a high rate taxpayer gets nil rate band 500 pounds for the saving income. So saving nil rate band is 500 into 0% is obviously 0. Total saving income is 15,000. Out of 15,500 we have considered in nil rate band. So we are left with 14,500. Obviously, remaining 14,500 falls in high rate band because basic rate band is already fully utilized. Applicable income tax rate is 40%. And let me tell you one thing. All these tax rates All these tax rates, this will actually be given to you in exam. For the non-saving, saving, dividend, all this will be given to you in exam. But you should learn application. Okay. Let's take 40% off 14,500. If I take 40% of this, I'm getting 5,800. Now, students, dividend income. As we have already revised that every individual, irrespective of their tax paying status, gets nil rate band of £500. Every status, every individual. It means dividend nil rate band £500 into 0% is obviously 0. Out of 10,500 we have considered in nil rate band, remaining 9,500 actually falls in higher rate band. Applicable rate is 33.75%. Higher rate 9,500. Applicable rate is 33.75%. So 9,500, let's take 33.75. I'm getting a student 3,206. Let's add all of them. 7,540 plus 3,892 plus 5,800 plus 3,206. I'm getting 20,438. This is income tax liability. But in the same question, we have got PAYE as well. What is the meaning of PAYE? Pay as you earn. Simply, this is pay means simply the tax which you have paid in advance. Pay as you earn. Normally, when you are working somewhere as an employee, then you pay tax under pay. So what is pay? Pay as you earn. Simply, this is the tax which someone has already paid in advance. So the amount of pay is 10,000. Now come here. Less pay, which is 10,000, because the total income tax liability of this individual is 20,438, but out of that 10,000 is already paid in advance. So how much still that individual will have to pay? That is income tax payable. So here comes your tax payable, 10,438. I strongly believe each and every step should be clear to everyone. Then pay is pay as you earn. Okay. Move little bit. Now listen, friends. We know that when we calculate income tax, so the sequence is non-saving, saving, dividend income. And there's a column of, okay, there's any question? Okay. Students, come here. Pay as you earn means tax paid in advance. This is the tax which someone has already paid in advance. Actually, when you are working as an employee in any XYZ organization, so normally what happens, you will be paying tax under pay system. Logically, they will pay you your salary, everything, but first they will deduct the pay. This is the tax which actually you have paid in advance. Is that clear? Pay. Look at the pay as you earn. Simply, this is the tax which someone has already paid in advance. And student, this If you are asking this, this also shows that you people have, some of you have even not seen starting lectures, I believe. This is I've already covered in starting lectures. So kindly, just coming for the live revision class will only help you when you have already seen that topic in the regular classes. If you have not seen that topic in the regular classes, then look at the name, live revision class. What is the meaning of a revision? Revision does not mean that you start learning something altogether new. So kindly, I think we dropped the message at least 5 or maybe 6 days before that class. And we did mention the topics as well. So kindly, first study all the topics which we'll be covering in a live revision class. Then attend this class. It will give you 200% benefit. Okay, non-saving, saving, dividend, and then there's a column of total. Now listen to me carefully, students. When it comes to saving income, someone who is a basic rate taxpayer gets nil rate band of £1,000. If someone is a higher rate taxpayer gets nil rate band of £500. Someone is an additional rate taxpayer does not get a nil rate band for the saving income. When it comes to dividend income, every individual gets nil rate band of £500 irrespective of their tax paying status. Okay. Now there's one more concept which actually relates to one more rule which actually relates to saving income. And that is starting rate band of £5,000. If starting rate band of £5,000 is applicable, then income tax rate for the saving income is 0%. Number one, starting rate band only relates to saving income. Second, if it is applicable in a question, then you should know one thing, that limit for the starting rate band is from £1 till £5,000. Applicable rate is 0%. But there's only one question. How do I know that starting rate band is applicable in a question or it is not applicable? Like we have solved the above question, we did not discuss anything regarding relating to starting rate band. So come here, I'll give you the idea. We know that when we calculate income tax, so first column is non-saving income. Then we go for saving income. And the last one is dividend. Now listen to me carefully. In non-saving income, students, whatever is the total, from that total, you will deduct the personal allowance. Now listen to me carefully. In the column of non-saving, after deducting the personal allowance, if the taxable income is less than £5,000, if the taxable income here, it is less than £5,000, then the starting rate band issue will apply. For example, let's say the taxable income after deducting personal allowance in the column of non-saving is £3,000. If taxable income in the column of non-saving after deducting the personal allowance is 3,000, now you will get a starting rate band. Starting rate band for the saving income, you will get 2,000. This is number one. Second, if in the column of non-saving, after deducting the personal allowance, the taxable income, I'm assuming it is £4,000. Then you will get a starting rate band for the saving income, £1,000. If someone is having a taxable income more than equal to £5,000 in the column of non-saving, that person does not get any starting rate band. Now look at this question. Non-saving is 60,000. We deducted the personal allowance. Look at the answer. Taxable income is more than £5,000. That is why when we solve the entire question, while solving the entire question, I did not discuss anything relating to starting rate band. Why? Because the taxable income in the column of non-saving is more than £5,000. So whenever you are solving a question where taxable income is more than or equal to £5,000 in the column of non-saving, then starting rate band will not apply. Let me write one example for you, and I want every one of you to try that. Assuming someone is having employment income, let's say £15,000. Saving income is, let's say, £10,000. Dividend income is, let's say, £12,000 required. I want every one of you to calculate income tax liability, whatever you think is the right way. I'm giving around 5 minutes to all of you to attempt this question. Let me pause the video, otherwise video becomes unnecessarily very long. Okay, let's try together. Non-saving, then saving income, dividend income, and then we have got total. Okay. Employment income, we know that is a non-saving income. I'm directly writing it. Saving income is 10,000. Dividend income is 12. So here comes the total is 37,000. Personal allowance 12,570. 15,000 minus 12,570. I'm getting 2430. 10,000 plus 12. Okay, now let's apply tax rates. First, we have to apply tax rate on non-saving income. Student, non-saving income does not have any nil rate band, okay? Or whatever the nil rate band, I would say rules we have, they actually relate to saving as well as dividend income. So entire 2430 of non-saving actually falls in basic rate band. Non-saving 2430. Applicable rate is 20%. 486. Now, student, I have only one question. My first question is, does this individual entitled to get starting rate band? Say yes or no. Then next question will be how much. But my first question is he entitled to get starting rate band for the saving income? Kindly reply yes or no. Let me see in the chat box. Chat box is mashallah. Chat box is mashallah empty. Very nice. Thank you for replying. Now at least couple of students they have said yes. The rest of my students they are online but they are very busy. They don't have that much time to say yes or no to the teacher. Thank you very much. So this individual is entitled to starting rate band. Agreed. Now my next question is how much starting rate band this individual will get? Will he get entire 5,000? Less than that? What exactly? Okay, let's see. Excellent. The answer is given by the students 2570. Starting rate band for saving income. Actually, it is 5,000. But if you have any taxable income in the column of non-saving, which is obviously less than 5,000, that actually utilizes your starting rate band. So 5,000 minus 2430, 2570. So this individual is entitled to get yes starting rate band and the second amount is 2570. Applicable rate is 0%. Now after that we'll go for a nil rate band. Nil rate band is a separate rule. Starting rate band is separate. This individual is having a taxable income 24,430, which is even less than the basic rate band limit, which is 37,700. So this individual is a basic rate taxpayer. Whoever is a basic rate taxpayer gets nil rate band £1,000 for the saving income. So saving Nil rate band is 1000 pound. Applicable rate is obviously 0%, it is 0. Now, remaining saving income obviously falls in basic rate band. Taxable saving income is 10,000 pound. Out of that 10,000, we have taken 2570 in a starting rate band, 1000 in nil rate band. So how much is left? 10,000 minus 2570 minus 1000. From 10,000, we will deduct 2570 minus 1000. I'm getting 6430. So the remaining saving income is 6430, which obviously falls in basic rate band. Applicable rate is 20%. I'm getting 1286. Now let's move to the dividend income. And we know that every individual gets nil rate band 500 pounds for the dividend income. So dividend nil rate band 500 into 0%. Out of 12,500 we have taken in nil rate band. Remaining 11,500 obviously falls in basic rate band because this individual is a basic rate taxpayer. So dividend income 11,500, applicable rate is 8.75%. I'm getting, oh, let me check, 11,500 into 875. Students, I'm getting 100.25 leaf 0.25. Kindly check everyone is getting the same result or the different one. 486 plus 1286 plus 1006. Students, I'm getting income tax liability 2,778. Income tax liability is 2,778. Let me give you one more example, and I really want every one of you to attempt this. Employment income. Assuming employment income is 10,000 pound, saving income is 4,950, dividend income is, let's say, 15,000. Required income tax liability. Students, again, I'm giving 5 minutes to everyone, even though 5 minutes, there are more for this question, but still I'm giving you 5 minutes. I want every one of you to attempt this. Please, all of you are having 5 minutes. Your time starts now. Okay, so let's do it together. Now, before we solve this example, which looks very simple, but within this very simple example, there's a one hidden rule, which sometimes students, they do not recall in exam, so they lose very easy 2 to 3 marks. Let's see. First is non-saving, then saving and dividend. Now listen to me carefully. The normal personal allowance allocation. The normal personal allowance allocation is first we allocate personal allowance to non-saving income. After that, we allocate personal allowance to saving income, and finally we allocate personal allowance to the dividend income. There's a possibility you are having a little non-saving income, so still if personal allowance is left, remaining will be deducted against the saving income. If you still have, remaining will be deducted against the dividend income. But that's a normal allocation of personal allowance, which we 99% of the situation we follow this one. But according to HMRC, which is a taxation authority in UK, HMRC allows you to change the personal allowance allocation, provided that at the end of the day, it will be beneficial for the individual. Means at the end of the day, individual is going to save income tax. In that way, HMRC says you can change the allocation of personal allowance for your benefit. So what could be the possible change in the allocation of personal allowance? It is going to be number 1, then 2, and then 3. And student, don't forget one thing, it is just a change in the allocation of personal allowance. When it comes to applying the income tax rate, first we apply income tax rate on non-saving income, then we apply on saving income, and finally I'll go for dividend. This is the change just in the allocation of personal allowance. But now there's a very big question. The big question is, how do I know that this time I need to change personal allowance allocation sequence? What is the trigger point? There should be a hint by looking at the data. How do we make a decision that now we need to change the sequence of the personal allowance? So let me help you in that area. Look at this. Simply, let's make the 4 columns. Non-saving income, saving income, dividend, and the last one is total. Okay, fine. Employment income is a non-saving income, so I'm writing £10,000. Saving income is 4950. Dividend income is 15,000. If I take total of this, just a minute, something is wrong with the, okay, fine. 25,000 plus 4950. It is 29950. Okay. Personal allowance, 10,000. Now listen to me carefully. Logically, in the column of non-saving, we are having a taxable income 0. Now, sure, listen to me carefully. In the column of non-saving, taxable income is 0. If the taxable income is 0, it means this individual is entitled to get the entire 5,000 basic rate band. And we know that if any income which falls in starting rate band for the saving income, applicable rate is 0%. Repeat. In the column of non-saving, taxable income is 0, which means that this individual is entitled to get the entire starting rate band of £5,000. Now listen to me carefully, students. Look at the income, which is 4950. Logically, entire 4950 saving income falls in a starting rate band. One, the entire starting rate band is available to this individual. Why the entire starting rate band is available to this individual? Because taxable income in the column of non-saving is 0, which means this individual is entitled to get the entire starting rate band of £5,000. Second, the entire income of 4950 actually falls in a starting rate band and where applicable rate is 0%. In that situation, if any one of us deducts the remaining personal allowance against the 4950, then technically it is incorrect. Because if you are deducting any personal allowance, remaining personal allowance against the 4950, so logically you are wasting your personal allowance. Why you are wasting your personal allowance? Because on 4950, you technically you will not be paying any income tax. Because on the entire 4950, applicable income tax rate is 0%. Something which already attracts tax rate 0%. There is an income which attracts tax rate 0%. If you reduce that income by getting any relief, so you are going against, I would say, something called which is commercial acumen. Then you are not a commercially wise person. Because once you know that on that particular income, I'll be paying income tax and which is 0%. It means I'm not paying any income tax on that amount. So if you reduce that amount, so it means you're not a commercially acumen person. So the situation where entire saving income falls in a starting rate band, in that case, we do not deduct the remaining personal allowance against the saving income. We deduct the remaining personal allowance against the dividend income, which is 2570. So this is what you need to just memorize. Otherwise, I'll do one thing for your own, I would say, clarification. You're not required to do that in the exam. I will also show you if someone does not follow the change in the sequence, then obviously at one, you will be paying more income tax. Second, you will be losing marks as well. Okay. There's no need to be happy that, okay, sir, even I don't change the sequence of the personal allowance. Will I be paying the same income tax? No, you will be paying more income tax, number one. And second, you will be losing marks in ATX as well. Because when HMRC has given you the permission that in this particular situation, you should change the sequence of allocating the personal allowance, and you are not doing that, so you will be losing marks. Okay. 4950. But for your comparison, for your clarity, I'll give you the comparison. If someone does not follow this sequence, then what happens? Here I'm getting students 12,430. So it is 17,380. Total taxable income is 17,380. 8 does not look 8. Now let me make this properly looking 8. Okay, now we have to calculate income tax. Starting rate band saving income. Entire 4950 actually falls in starting rate band, and tax is going to be 0. When it comes to dividend income, we know that every individual gets nil rate band of 500. Dividend nil rate band is £500 into 0% is 0. Out of this 12,430, we have taken 500 in nil rate band. Remaining dividend income actually falls in starting rate band, basic rate band. My bad. Remaining dividend income falls in basic rate band, and where applicable rate is 8.75%. 12,430 minus 500. 11,930 into 8.75%. Insurance, I'm getting 1043.875 with a rounding of 1044. Let me recheck. 11,930 and this. Yes. So here comes the income tax liability. Income tax liability. Now, for example, if any one of us thinks that, what if I don't change the sequence and I follow the normal sequence, then what happens? How much income tax liability will I get? Let me explain you that. But that you are not required to do. I'm just for your clarity doing it. Okay. If someone does not follow what HMRC is allowed, then what happens? Let's see. Non-saving is 10, saving is 4950, dividend is 15. Total we have calculated. It was 29,950. Let's see personal allowance, which is 10,000. 2570. Taxable income 0. 4950 minus 2570. I'm getting 2380. It is 15,000. 2380 plus 15,000. 17,380. Okay. Entire 2380 obviously falls in starting rate band saving income. 2380 into 0% is 0. When it comes to entire 15,000, first 500 falls in nil rate band, dividend nil rate band, 500 into 0% is obviously 0. Now students, remaining 14,500 of the dividend income falls in basic rate band, applicable rate is 8.75%. I'm getting 1,269. Look at this. We are getting income tax liability 1,269, and here we were getting how much? 1044. So if you do not follow what HMRC says in different situation, you will end up by paying more income tax, plus you will be losing marks in exam as well. That is why this approach is not acceptable. In 99% situation, it is acceptable, but in this situation here, it is not acceptable, because if I follow the normal sequence here, we will end up by paying more income tax than we should have paid. So obviously it is better to pay 1044 rather than paying 1269. So you need to know that in a particular situation, there is a situation in which you have to actually change the sequence of personal allowance allocation as well. Okay. Now, students, one more thing. There's a we know that in UK, every individual who is having income more than 12,570, if your income is more than 12,570, then the income which is over and above personal allowance, on that income you will have to pay income tax. Okay. But the question is, what is the objective of introducing the concept, or you can say the rule of 12,570 personal allowance, so that those individuals, they are earning less than 12,570, they should not be paying income tax. You can say that those they are earning less than 12,570 or equal to 12,570, they should not be paying income tax. So that is sort of a relief for those individuals, they are earning less than that. But there's a possibility that some of the individual in UK, they might be very, very rich. They're having really big pockets, deep pockets. So they will also get the benefit from this personal allowance. The answer is yes, and there's an answer of no as well. The question is why yes, then why no? Actually, those people, they are very wealthy in UK. They do get personal allowance 12,570, but there's one condition. If that condition fulfills, then their personal allowance starts reducing. In fact, some of them might be getting personal allowance zero. Now, what is that situation in which personal allowance will start reducing? The name of that situation is adjusted net income. If someone is in UK is having adjusted net income equal to greater than 1,25,140, then actually personal allowance becomes zero. Now the question is, how do we calculate adjusted net income? Then how do we apply? So we will be starting all this from the next class, because in today's class, the agenda was to discuss far more than what I have discussed right now. But majority of the student, I think you people have not seen initial videos also. So kindly try to watch the lectures. Every one of you is, I think, having the study planner as well. If any one of you who does not have the study planner, contact admin. They will share the study planner, because the coming Saturday, the class is going to be long. We will be we will start from the concept of ANI. Then I'll be discussing other concepts of pension as well. Plus, I will also be discussing the tax planning also. So, plus we will be discussing the employment income as well, property income also. So kindly, student, before the coming class, try to follow your study plan. And at the end of the class, thank you very much that you people have taken out time for the live revision class. I'm expecting that all of you who are there today keep coming for the rest of the classes as well. And plus other students, they will also join us on each and every live revision class. So kindly, students, follow the study planner. And I will also explain in the coming class the procedure of the test as well. And you are going to enjoy that procedure of the test. Don't worry at all. You are going to check your test by yourself. What I'm going to do, some of the tests I'm going to conduct in the live revision class. I will share the test during the live revision class. Once you have attempted that test, after that, we'll be solving that together, okay? And obviously, you have already attempted, then we'll be solving it together. And then while I'll be solving that question for you, you can check what you have done. Then you can give marks to yourself as well. So in the coming class, I'll be discussing all the mechanism of how we'll be conducting the test and how we are going to start the practice of the Kaplan kit question also, because I'll give the opportunity to all of you to attend the live classes for the Kaplan kit questions also. So thank you very, very much again that you people have taken out time for today's class. Do give the feedback about today's class in your relevant WhatsApp groups. Thank you.